Great. Welcome everybody to this webinar that you just saw a brief introduction already of Politecnico di Milano, the Graduate School of Management. And we're going to hear in the next 45 minutes or so about the International Masters in different varieties. You will hear about the different masters from the staff. And we actually have a student with us as well. So great to see that. And I hope you're excited about this as well. And you'll be hearing from all of them. My name is Luc Mulling. I'm just the moderator of today. I just want to highlight a couple of interactive options. First of all, the option to chat with us indeed. I saw some people already did that. So by all means, let us know where you're logging in from. That's great to see. But also important, you can write your questions at any time. You can do that through the panel next to it called questions. If you do it there, we make sure we don't miss out on any of them. And we'll be dealing with them at the end. Also, I'll be opening up a couple of polling questions just to get to know you a little bit better. I just opened one up actually, so just to know what is the most important to you in selecting a university program. So thanks for your feedback. And last but not least, we have a little fun button, I like to call it, as well at the bottom of the screen. If you click on React, you can give your reaction of choice. For example, if you hear something great, yes. So, and just to make it a little bit more fun and interactive, also for the speakers, because they cannot see you, but then they get an idea that you are there. So, without further ado, let's go over to the presenters, and we'll start off with Sarah, and she'll introduce herself, and then the rest of the speakers. Good luck.
Thank you, Luc. Hello, everyone. I am Sarah, and I'm part of the recruitment team for the full-time specializing master. Nice to meet you, and thank you all for being here. Okay. So, my role today is to give you a glimpse of who we are, to present to you the master related to the cluster in sustainability and entrepreneurship, and to connect you with Professor Federica Cipulla and our current student, Marko Vukmirovic. So, POLIMI was born over 40 years ago under another name at first, which was Nippo Politecnico di Milano. We are based in Milan. I don't know how familiar you are with the city, but it is the economic heart of Italy. And combines a global ambition with countless professional opportunities. Our name definitely reflects the strong connection with Politecnico di Milano. In fact, we are part of the same ecosystem, and it represents our main partner together with leading Italian and international companies. I assume you are all familiar with Politecnico di Milano, since it is the first university in Italy with over 150 years of history. It ranks 6th globally in design, 7th in architecture, and 21st in engineering, which are the 3 main departments. It has more than 300 research centers and labs, but also an innovation district and startup accelerator, which is very important for those of you with entrepreneurial ideas and projects. As I mentioned before, Politecnico di Milano is our main partner together with important Italian and international realities that help us in designing, updating, and delivering the courses. Today, we are a benefit corporation, and our new name is also aligned with a broader vision focused on innovation and social impact. Oh, sorry. I believe that for most of you, information about accreditations, rankings, and sustainability are very important during the decision-making phase. We are proud to be a triple crown accredited business school, which means that we receive the 3 most important international accreditations, which are AACSC, AIMBA, and AQUIS. We are part of the 1% of business schools worldwide with this distinction, actually. Which reflects our strong commitment to excellence and innovation. Our programs are also ranked in the most important rankings such as QS and Financial Times. Sustainability is one of the guiding principles of our school, of course. We are deeply committed to invest in projects that create a positive impact on society and environment. In fact, in 2020, we became the first business school in Europe to receive the B Corp certification, which is a testament of our values and mission. And as you can see, this is just not the only certification that we received so far. We are really centrally located. Our main campuses are in Milan, as you could see from the video. We have one in Bovisa, which is within the Polytechnic campus, and one in Navigliera, which is our newest campus, and it's just 5 minutes walk from the Green Metro line, which is a very nice area. And both locations, again, are very well connected and easy to reach. Okay, before we dive into our portfolio, let me briefly walk you through our masters. So I guess many of you are probably wondering if this kind of programs are truly international or if they're hands-on experience. Well, the answer is yes. Our programs are highly practical and experiential, featuring challenges, company presentation, group projects, real business cases, and much more. And all of it within an international environment. Of course, so you will have some theory. Some of them include a month of general management, core courses, and electives. But what we care about the most is that you will be ready for the market. Our programs of this cluster, so sustainability and entrepreneurship, last between 12 and 24 months. They are taught in English, except for one of them, and they all take place on campuses in Milan. The final months are dedicated to project work or an internship, which is a key opportunity for students to start building their professional career. Okay, so let's see an overview of the programs from cluster in sustainability and energy. So for the master in sustainability, we do have two versions. One is in sustainability management, which is perfect for students who want to work on sustainability from a strategic point of view, helping companies improve their strategies or stakeholders engagement and overall impact. The other one is in environmental sustainability and circular economy, which is ideal for those who want a more technical and environmental approach. So focusing on circular economy, reducing waste, and design greener solutions for different industries. From the intake of 2026, the students will have the most updated version of this master and the chance to take part to a 1 week of study tour in Nantes. Actually, Professor Ciculo is the director of this master, so if you have any specific questions later to ask or curiosity, feel free to do so. And then we move to the Master in Energy Management, which is the one held in Italian. This is best suited for students interested in energy sector and the green transition. So exploring how renewable energy, new technologies shape the future of energy. And then we have the Entrepreneurship and Design for Sustainability, which is a dual degree. And it is a master in partnership with the Schema Business School. In fact, part of this will be held in Sophia Antipoli, which is in France. And this is ideal for students who want to combine creativity, design, and entrepreneurial mindset to create sustainable products, services, and business ideas. So for the topic in innovation and tech, we have the Master in Innovation and Entrepreneurship, ideal for students who want to create a new ideas, products, or startups, or else companies innovate simply by learning how to spot opportunities, design solutions, and grow new ventures. For this master, you can have a second option year in Germany at our partner school, WHU. Today, actually, we are joined by Marco, which is a current student of this master and who will be happy to answer to your questions. Last but not least, we have also a Master in AI and Entrepreneurship, which is a master diploma in partnership with the Albert School, and it lasts 2 years. This is a perfect choice for those who want to build an AI-driven startup, learning both the technical AI skills and the business tools, requested to launch, innovative ventures. So after this introduction, I'm pleased to leave the floor to Professor Ciculo for her presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sarah. And good afternoon also from my side. I'm Federica Ciculo, and I'm an associate professor at Politecnico di Milano. And I'm here as the director of the two international master in sustainability management that Sarah just introduced. Sustainability is also the core of my research activities. As you can see, my main background is in sustainable supply chain management, and with a focus in particular in the agri-food industry, which probably explains also the focus of today's lectures and the topic that I pick for this lecture. So going to the agenda of this class, we will start by introducing, of course, the concept of sustainability, and then we will soon deep dive into some core sustainability challenges that the agri-food industry is currently living. And I will build on this background to introduce you with a framework that allows us to classify different type of innovations that company can leverage to respond to the sustainability challenges in the agri-food industry, but also in any industry, we can say. We will finish by touching upon the role of startups. Okay, so that could be an interesting bridge also for those of you that are interested in entrepreneurship and in let's say in this part of our offer. We will talk about the role of startups as engines for sustainable innovation. So they are key player when it comes to radical innovation for sustainability. So as said, we cannot avoid introducing a couple of definition. I will try to be very brief, but first of all, the main topic of this lecture is sustainability. Sustainability was firstly defined within the report called Our Common Future back in 1986. So it's a quite old concept, but it's still very let's say highly adopted and very relevant for many industry. We find in this report called Our Common Future, the very first definition. You see that sustainable development, there are defined as the development that meet the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Okay, so from this definition, we can say that sustainability is about development, is about economic growth, but that we cannot separate this economic growth from the environmental constraints of our planet. And so that sustainable development is a type of development which implies some limits, and these limitations are imposed by the present state of environmental resources, but also technology, and also the social issues that are interesting and which are relevant for our planet at large. We have another definition which is more connected to the industrial focus of today's lecture, which is the definition of sustainable food system. In this case, this definition is provided by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, which is an international institution from United Nations, which defines sustainable food system as a food system that delivers food security and nutrition for all in such a way that the economic, social, and environmental basis to generate food security and nutrition for future generations are not compromised. So you see similarity with the definition we see before. So it's about enabling the continuity of food system to exist and to assure food security, which means access to enough nutritious food for all. So it's there's a very great ambition behind this definition, which also remarks why we are talking about this industry in particular. We're talking about the agri-food industry also because it's an industry which is characterized by some important, relevant sustainability challenges. You see 5 of them here listed. They are called grand sustainability challenges because they share the fact of being highly complex, interrelated, characterized by high uncertainty. And also these are all challenges for which we don't have a straightforward solution that a single company can propose. No, they need a joint effort. All these challenges to be solved need a joint effort, which means collaboration between companies, between company and public institution, between companies and non-for-profit organization, for example. I will touch upon some aspect connected to these challenges. So you see the first one, we live in a world in which we have the coexistence of undernutrition. We have 733 million people around the world that suffer from chronic food deprivation, which means they don't have cost and access to enough food to sustain their living, to conduct an healthy lifestyle. And at the same time, we live in a world that is constantly growing. No, we have a growing population that will continuously require more and more resources. And at the same time, all these coexist with the opposite trend. So in the world, we have also people that they are highly exposed to food and to food availability, and they suffer from, let's say, the opposite trend, which is overnutrition and unhealthy lifestyle that can lead to obesity. A second challenge, which is connected with the first one. So under this scenario, in a world in which we have people that are undernourished, we have a large amount of food waste. 1/3 of the food that is produced by the agri-food supply chain nowadays end up being wasted, okay? And you might already spot the paradox here. So high amount of waste and people that instead suffer from undernutrition. Third challenge is connected to the high environmental impact connected to food production activities, in particular agriculture and food transformation. They contribute to overall to 1/3 of the total amount of greenhouse gas emissions that are released in the atmosphere every year. We have ecosystem degradation, biodiversity loss. Generally, forests are converted very often into agricultural land, and converting a forest into an agricultural land means that there is an associated biodiversity loss to it. Last but not least, we have another challenge which is connected to inequalities in the distribution of value along the supply chain. So agri-food supply chain is characterized by farmers and farms, which are small realities. They are mostly family farms that need to interact with large multinational companies that are instead in the retail stage or in the transformation stage. So this creates an imbalance that also creates an uneven distribution of value along the supply chain. In the next slide, you see some facts and figures just to give you a bit more evidence on this. As I said, agriculture and food production are responsible for 1/3 of the emission generated worldwide. Food loss, 1/3 of the food that is produced end up being lost. We have an issue of food insecurity, with still an important fraction of the global population that is affected by undernutrition. And we have also an issue in terms of productivity of the whole chain. I leave to you to look at in detail to these figures. So under these, let's say, in this context, a key role is played by innovations, and companies can respond to these challenges by proposing some interesting innovation. Innovation might be, and the traditional classification we are used to see is about the different typologies of innovation in terms of technological innovation, business model innovation, product service, but also supply chain innovation. We might have interesting transformation taking place in the agri-food domain. So on the one hand, here we have this what, okay, so this the type of innovation. At the same time, we have different processes to achieve innovations. And so we have a framework that identifies 3 main processes to achieve sustainable innovation. And finally, we have a third dimension, which is that is of important relevance, which is which are the actors that can make the difference when it comes to sustainability. And here we have the core role of startups. So I will just briefly go through this looking at how we can achieve, how we can address the sustainability challenge we just seen. So 3 typologies of approaches to innovation for sustainability. We have operational optimization. You see here, the main objective is doing the same thing, but better. Okay, so we're talking about incremental innovation generally proposed by a single company. So they don't require external expertise and collaboration. See, second typology, organization transformation. Here, the objective is doing good things, doing good by doing new things. So here we're talking about a bit more radical innovation, which imply a shift in a firm purpose, and they also require external expertise based on the collaboration with, for example, supply chain partners. And finally, third typology, we have system building, which are the most radical type of innovation. Here, the goal is doing good by doing new things with others. What's the main difference here? This type of innovation require collaboration with non-traditional entities like non-for-profit organization and public institutions. So it's not the traditional business-to-business partnership. We're talking about different type of partnership that are in place here. Some example just to provide you with a bit more, let's say, sense of the difference. In terms of operational optimization, we have solutions that are in the realm, for example, of innovative packaging for products. You see a picture there of this cup and label placed on a food product. This is the innovation provided by a startup. It's called Mimica Lab, and they provide these temperature-sensitive indicators that allow to measure the freshness on the food and beverage, and so to really assess the spoilage of food and beverage. For the second typology, so for organizational transformation, we have an interesting product innovation within the food realm. Here are all the set of novel food that you might find on the supermarket shelf right now or in the future, like plant-based alternatives. 2 names just to provide you with some example. Beyond Meat and Impossible Food, they provide protein based alternative to the traditional meat product. We have cultured meat products, single cells or insect-based food. They all represent form of innovation that address one of the challenges we saw before, which is connected to the environmental impact of food production. Meat is among the food products contributing the most to the environmental impact. So all these innovations should be read as alternative that can mitigate the environmental impact connected to meat production. Last but not least, the last typology, the most radical one, system building. We have an interesting innovation in the city of Milan, which is called the food waste hubs. So in the city of Milan, you find around the city of Milan these food collection points. Okay, these are basically warehouses that are located around the city of Milan that collect surplus food coming from canteens, school canteens, company canteens, catering services, and also from supermarkets. They collect surplus food and they store this surplus food for a very short time to then be redistributed to people in need, to the local charitable organization that operate in the city of Milan. It's an interesting project, multi-stakeholders, so companies, but also the Milan municipality, institutions like Politecnico di Milano are involved in this project. The project was awarded with the Airshot Prize in 2024 by the Royal Foundation, and the project won £1,000 of fundings to replicate the same system in other cities around the world. So it's something I'm very proud of, and it's connected to the pride of being in Milan. Last, I finish by just commenting on the role of startup, why they are relevant when it comes to sustainable innovation. They are powerful engines to solve some of the sustainability challenges we saw before. They are an interesting actors to look at because they are sustainability born. So they born with a sustainability mission embedded. So they are not like established companies that need to change their business model to embed sustainability. They born with sustainability in their DNA, and that makes them a very interesting actors, to solve even some big challenges. We have been investigating the sustainable startups within the agri-food industry. We built a huge database of startups. Just want to highlight among these figures that we found out a total worldwide, this is a worldwide database, we found a total of 7,120 startups that operate in the agri-food, agri-food industry. Among these, 34% are startups which embed sustainability in their business model and in the strategy. So 34% of incidence of sustainability among these panel of startups that operate in the agri-food industry. What does it mean embedding sustainability in their DNA, in the business model? These are startups that cover different sustainable development goals. You can have a look here on the most and those sustainable development goals that are mostly covered by the different startups. At the first place, we have the sustainable development goals called responsible consumption and production, and in particular, efficient use of resources. So most of the startups are concentrated in targeting this goal about the efficient use of resources. Here you have some example of the startups that receive the highest fundings in our database. Among them, we have an Italian one, which is called Soplaya. Soplaya is a startup that offer a platform for restaurants, hotels, and bar to purchase food and beverage product directly from producer. So bypassing the other intermediaries that are generally there, like wholesalers. So in this case, restaurants can buy directly from producer. They can check for quality, provenance of food. They can, and they can also claim, that they contributed to the overall development of a specific, of the production of a specific good product. We have other startups that are worth mentioning, like Revol Green, which is a US-based startups. They produce basically vegetables in greenhouse, and they have a very interesting technology for which they use filtered rainwater for irrigation. So it's greenhouse based, but they use filtered rainwater. Sencrop, which is a French startups, they use very advanced weather station to detect any let's say, signals connected to climate change and some weather condition that might, of course, hit their crops. And finally, Chinese startups that collect local firms, so both let's say food producer, but also company that produce finished products, so they let's say that are active in food and beverage transformation, to find a customer, offering a logistics service, so able to reach, like allowing this producer to reach also, let's say, the rural area of the country. Just very, very few example for you if you're curious to check. To finish with this lecture, I want to remark just an aspect connected to startups. They play a very relevant role, as we said, but we also observe that it's very relevant for these startups to build some partnership with established company. Here you see two examples of partnership. We had ICA. ICA is a supermarket chain in Sweden. It's the largest food retailer, which established a partnership with Rescued. Rescued is a startups that work with fruit and vegetables which are close to their, let's say, expiration date. And they reuse fruit and vegetables to produce smoothies and soup. So they rescue the fruit and vegetable to produce this product. They establish a partnership with ICA to commercialize smoothies with the ICA label applied. You see here one of the smoothies he rescue, and they use this partnership to collect fruit and vegetable from ICA supermarket. Another partnership, interesting one, is between IKEA. I hope you all know IKEA, and WeNow, which is a startups again, which provide this system to monitor food waste, which is based on a smart camera that can be placed on top of a garbage can and can measure the amount of food waste and the typology of food waste. So IKEA started to use this system in all its restaurant points. Again, an example of a startup between an established companies and a startup, which allowed the startup to grow and which offer legitimacy to the established company. And that's all from my side. I know it was not probably an exhaustive, let's say, overview, but it's really to put you to create some curiosity also from your side. And I'm happy to take any question from you here. Just a quick summary of what we touch upon in this very short lecture. So thank you to all, and I'm happy to take any question from your side at the end. I'll leave the floor back to Sara.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Cipulla. If you agree with that, let's move to the final part of the presentation. So we'll leave the questions at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So before jumping on the admission process, I'm sure you're curious about what to expect in terms of career services. During your master, you will have access to a complete set, including career days and recruiting events. Flexa, which is our platform to explore job opportunities and connect with over 11,000 companies. You can have access to one-to-one sessions with a career consultant, meeting with managers and HR directors from top companies, access to alumni network, which is composed by more than 10 chapters from all over the world and more than 20 thematic clubs. So basically, in short, our team is here to help you understand the market, so helping you in sharpen your profile and access the right opportunities. So here, just to give you an idea, here you can find some important names, like, for example, EY, Nexi, L'Oreal, Save the Children, Accenture, PwC. So all of these companies and more collaborate with our programs, attend classes, or even hire our students. So there are a lot of possibilities. So now let's jump on the how to apply and how to get admitted. So first of all, you need to complete the application, the required documents. So in the first step, you need to upload your CV, motivational letter, a university transcript, a photo, and a copy of your ID or the passport. At a later stage, you will also need to provide an English certificate, your bachelor's diploma, and a reference letter, either professional or academic. So I divided it in these two steps, but actually if you have all of these documents at the moment of the application, it's totally fine. If you don't have these last 3 documents ready yet, don't worry, you can still apply and upload them in a second time, as long as it's the beginning of the master. So tuition fee and financial aid. So the tuition fee for most of our masters can vary between 22K and 35K. So it depends on the master you're going to choose. Applying by May 30, you will receive an early bird discount of €1,000, which is valid for most of our masters. On top of that, you can also explore other types of financial contributions, such as the Academic Excellence Scholarship, which is available if you meet a minimum GPA requirement, or essay-based opportunities like Break the Glass Ceiling, Future Leaders, and others. So all of these details, we can definitely provide it to you or are on our website. So you basically have to choose the topic that you like the most. But just for all information, we have our general email, which is infomaster@gsem.polimi.it. Okay, now let's now connect with someone who is experiencing Polimi GSEM firsthand. Marco, thank you for being here with us today.
I'm happy to be here. Nice to meet you guys.
Well, thank you so much. I'll break the ice by asking a couple of questions, but then I'll be happy to leave the floor to the audience. So then feel free to connect and invite me to chat the questions. Marco, would you like briefly tell us about you, your background, your educational path, experience, and what key consideration got you in choosing this master? Because you're doing the innovation and entrepreneurship.
Yes, of course. Like, first of all, it's really nice to be here because exactly 1 year ago, I had to make the decision if I want to do a master in general and if I want to do it abroad with POLIMI. So I hope with the experience I made in the last months, I can help you guys to make the right decision for you. I'm Marco, I'm 26 years old, and originally I'm from Serbia, but I grew up in Germany, in Stuttgart, and in the south of Germany. And I studied business and psychology back then. Did also like 6 months in Barcelona abroad, which was really nice. And because of that time, I also thought of doing my master's abroad because I really enjoyed it. And after finishing my time in the bachelor and in Barcelona, I moved to Cologne, which is another city in Germany, and worked there for a consulting company for 3 years. And then I decided to fulfill myself a dream of studying abroad. And therefore, I chose Milan and POLIMI and the Entrepreneurship Master, which was always the master I wanted to do.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I hope you're enjoying this experience. So since we were talking about the theory and the practice, the practical part, have you found a good balance between the theory and the practice, or do you want to tell us, I don't know, any experience that you like the most? So maybe some challenges with companies and so on.
Yes, for sure. Like this one was for me one of the best parts of the master before when I informed myself about POLIMI in the master, because I really like the mixture out of theory and practice. Of course, you have like the courses, and you have to study for exams. Like there's this part which is also important to gain all of the theory knowledge. But on the other side, there's a lot of opportunities to also do assignments that are connected to real companies, to real situations. I remember one time we did an assignment for a startup which is based at Politecnico. So we did a growth strategy for them, and right, I'm back now. Our final presentation was in front of the founders, so we pitched them our growth strategy, which was pretty nice, because you don't do this only for theory, you also do it for yourself and for a real case. And one more thing maybe to mention at this point is that we also, especially in the Entrepreneurship Master, we have something that's called the pre-incubation lab and the master project, which allows us to work on our own idea. And I'm doing this right now. Like I'm working on my own startup with a friend of mine out of the master. And we started at, I think, February or March, and we will continue till September. So out of a 1-year master, like nearly or over half a year, we can work on our own ideas, which is also pretty nice. So I'm enjoying the practical part a lot.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So I remember that you basically just came back from Barcelona, right? You did a 1 week of exchange.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a bit what you've done, what kind of experience you had?
Yes, like I think we came back from the exchange 2 weeks ago or something, so it's happened pretty recently. And if you're doing the master at POLIMI, like I can really suggest you guys to do also the exchange, because it's also free, like the tuition of the partner schools POLIMI has. So I went with 6 other people of my master. We went together to Barcelona to EADA Business School. Which is pretty nice, a nice school. We had a good lecture there about ethics and sustainability, and stayed also there for 1 week. And we took one Airbnb together. So as you can maybe imagine, we had a great time there, spending the time at the lecture, but also having a lot of leisure time, doing sports, went to the beach, also going to party, of course, meeting new people. So yeah, like it was a great experience, and I would do it again for sure.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So, from a Italian perspective, since we were talking about like, the stuff that is available for our students, I guess you take part on some activities such as career days. Do you want to tell us a bit how was it structured? What kind of experiences for the students?
Yes, of course. Like I think if that a lot of students coming to POLIMI, like I just see it in my class and the other masters as well, are targeting, of course, to find a job after a master. And I think that POLIMI is offering a lot of chances. Like, of course, the students need to take the chances and to put some work in and being active. But there are a lot of opportunities to network with companies and to apply for jobs. It starts, I think, even in classes, like a lot of professors are inviting, at least my master, companies, startups to pitch their idea, to teach us things about entrepreneurship. And then at the end, like, of course, they're also talking about internships or like even full opportunities to work there. Then we have the career service, which you can use. We had 1 week, which is called the practice week, where companies for 1 week came to us, and like I don't know, 6 or 7 companies in that time. We get to know them and speak to them. And we also had the career day, which you mentioned right now, Sarah, I think so, which is like a fair where we can speak to companies. So I think it's now 1 or 2 months ago, and I remember speaking to EY, PwC, Sky Italia. So there are a lot of opportunities. So if you really want to, you can network and find opportunities. I think one thing to consider is really important. If you want to stay in Italy and work for an Italian company, start studying the Italian language right now, because a lot of these companies want you to speak Italian, at least to a certain level. But yeah. that's the only tip from my side.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But as we said before, we do have also connection with international companies. So, and for whoever wants to choose the internship part, you're free to go back to your country or explore other opportunities if you don't want to stay in Italy. So you will have a lot of options. So that's something that I want to, tell to everybody. And speaking of the international environment, I mean, you're not from Italy, so you have to face, to move here and, start a new life with new friends. And how was your experience at this time?
Like, this is maybe the best part out of everything, I have to say. Like, I'm not sure if this is like like it is in my class in every master, but we are 23 people, I think, and the experience is just amazing. There are a lot of like-minded people. They're all open. They're across from all of the world. Like, I met friends from Sweden, UK, India, even out of my masters, people from China, from Russia, like from one guy from Ecuador. So it's really international. And we also spent a lot of time together, of course, during class, but also after class, having aperitivo, doing sports, or also doing vacation. Like, I did not only explore Milan in the last months, but also a lot of cities nearby. We even, like, one time we went together to Cologne to celebrate a carnival there. So yeah, like, we have an amazing group. It's definitely one of the best parts of the master. Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Well, sounds a lot of fun. Okay, so and just to ask you just a quick question, and then let's see if there are other people that want to ask you something. So for whoever is considering, pursuing a master at POLIMI Jason, which advice do you feel you want to give?
Yeah, like, I mean, I remember back then when I had to make the decision, do I want to do this master or not? It's a hard decision, right? Like, there are downsides and upsides on doing a master in general and master abroad in general. Like, of course, it costs you money, not only for studies, but also living there and not working at the time. So you have to consider things. But back then, like, I just ask myself, like, one day when I'm old and I'm at my deathbed, like, will I regret more to do this or to not do this? And then I decided to, okay, I need to do this. I think it will add a great value to my life and my career. And now, a few months into the experience, I'm really happy to make this decision, because I think that's the experience you make studying abroad, meeting the internationals, also getting a new culture, a new perspective, just extends your comfort zone, and is really valuable for your own development. So I'm really happy I made this decision, and I think it was the right one.
Well, good to hear. Thank you. Okay, so let's see your question. So anybody has a question for Professor Cicullo or Marco or me? So feel free to write in the chat.
Okay. So I come back in because we did receive some questions, and I'll take those also here verbally because they can be interesting for everybody. I saw some questions were answered by your dear colleague, but just want to make sure for everybody. So first of all, Nora had a question about the age limit, if there is one.
Yeah, so basically, I saw also my colleague Irene, thank you Irene for answering to different questions. So we don't have, a specific age limit. However, this kind of masters are more open for students that have between 0 and 3 years of work experience. So normally for the students that have an average age between 21, I would say 22 up to 27. So it depends. I think the oldest one that we have was around 30 or 32, because sometimes it happens that the students change direction and they want to specialize in something else. For the students that are over this age and mostly have more than 3 year work experience, we normally suggest other type of programs. So if there is anybody that is that has more than 3 years of work experience, we can definitely come get in touch with us, and we will pass it to the team in charge of this kind of program.
Okay, great. Thank you. The question from Oliver about the cost. So I think that was already answered. So it does depend on the program, as Irene also put there in the chat or in the question box. So do check that out. And I think, yeah, you can check out the website for the several programs.
It really depends on the program. So I would say that the ones that we talked about, most of them are around 25K, but it really depends on the master and also the duration. But also we had some contributions. We talked about it before, but if you want and you want to dive deeper, we are more open to talk about it. What we can do for the students.
You're falling. Your sound is dropping a bit, Sarah. Maybe you can put the microphone a bit closer.
Yeah,
we didn't hear not the last part. So maybe if you could repeat that.
Yeah. I was saying that if you are interested in contributions, I mean, we mentioned some of them, but we can definitely dive deeper together. You can reach out to the email address that we dropped. And we can talk about it. Absolutely. We also consider, we don't have like a specific amount for each contributions. We are open to evaluate each of them depending on, the needs of our students, even though we have to respect a limit.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see. Nora had another question. Would this master be suggested for professionals that want to make a shift in their career?
Well, yes. So basically, you can actually, you can actually do it. It happens. As I said before, there are some students that like even older than the average age of the class that decided to take a different direction. So it's not something that we say no. It happens in the past. But it really depends on the objective that a student has. Because as I said before, we also have like some executive masters related to the topic. They are more suitable for students that they work at the same time or they're older. So it's not that, it's not that we say again, no, you're not going to be able to enter in the class because you're maybe, 40 compared to the rest of the class. But at the same time, we probably suggest you more to evaluate first other programs. And then if there is anything else that you don't like and you still want to dive deeper into this program because you like it, you can definitely try to send the application and we evaluate the profile.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next question from Liam, asking about scholarships. Are there any?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just saying before. I don't know if I can still move the presentation back.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. So here we were mentioning some contributions that we have for our students. So they're not gonna cover the full amount of the master. So what you can do is that apply as soon as possible. Since at the end of, if you apply at the end of May, you will have €1,000 of discount, which is an early bird discount. On top of that, you can still consider other contributions. Like here, we have a list, which is also on our website. But if you get in touch with us, we can definitely support you with that. You can choose like up to a couple of them. And then we evaluate basically the essay that you prepare. So you choose the topic that you like the most, and you prepare this essay, and then we are going to basically give it to you the contribution more appropriate. And also we're really open to do like the one-to-one interview with the students. So just because it helps us understand the needs of the students. So you're more than welcome to reach out to us for this. But yeah, just to give you an idea, we propose contributions.
Okay, great. Thank you. I will also drop in the link that was mentioned to apply. I think it was actually also indicated in the chat, but here it is on the screen flying in. So if you click on that, you can open up the link and check out the application portal at your own pace. And in a minute, I will also open up the link to the specializing masters. So I'll wait a minute not to confuse you with the two, but we'll go over to the next question for now. That was from Oliver. I want to learn about the application deadline.
Yeah, so we don't really have a specific deadline. Besides the one that I mentioned before about the early bird contributions, so that one as the deadline. We normally, so because the admission is on a rolling basis, we normally suggest the students to apply as soon as possible. So at least they have more possibilities to go ahead with all the steps and be able to, to get an answer as soon as possible. It happens that sometimes the class can be closed also in mid-June. Some others can close in the mid-July. Some others there still have spots available, before the beginning of the master. It really depends. It's not something that we can really control at the moment because it depends on the application that we receive. And also sometimes it depends, on the professor, because there are some professors that they prefer to have a certain number of students. So normally all the classes, so Marco was mentioning the number of students in class, that there are around 20, 25. So it really depends on the class. So for example, this year, Professor, you can correct me if I'm not wrong, I think there are around 30 or something like that. So sustainability normally, since it has two versions, they at some point split. But some other classes are 20 students, some others 15. So it really depends. So we do the selection. So of course, it really depends on the timing, but also the kind of profile and also the commitment. So what I really suggest also the students when they apply is to try to show their really big interest that they have in applying for a specific master.
Okay, thank you. And those were the questions I've received so far, but do let us know any questions you have. This is the moment. You have the professor, the admissions and student Marco with us, so the best team you can have together to know everything about these master programs. Whilst we maybe wait for a last question, actually I've been submitting questions also to the audience to know a little bit more about the polling. And actually the last one was about what information you may be still looking for. And the winner, so to say, is the cost of living. So maybe we can address that briefly as well. Maybe Marco, I don't know, you've been living in different countries from studies as well, what I learned. And the cost of living, well, maybe first Milan, how is that?
Yeah, of course. Like the typical answer is that it depends on a lot of things. Like, do you want to live central? Do you want to live a bit outside of Milan? Do you want to live in a shared flat with 5 people or with 2? Like I chose, for example, a place pretty central, close to Mavili, which is a really good area, and I'm only living with one more guy, and I'm paying in total, I think, 900 euro right now. So this is a bit more. I think you can also like live for 700, 800 euro somewhere else. So this is maybe the cost of living for the flat. And yeah, then for groceries and everything else, like, I don't know, at the end it's maybe 1.5 to 2,000 euros a month you need to live. Also depending if you want to do the exchange, for example, if you want to do vacations. But if you want to live low cost or go for dinner and drinks, but I would say this is the range you need monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I mean, I just would like to add, as Marco was mentioning, it really depends on the kind of lifestyle you're gonna, take into consideration. Because if you want also to spend a little bit less about accommodation, so we don't have our own residences, but we do have partnerships. So we do have also a team that is in charge of it and support the students in case they need to find an accommodation in Milan, and also depending on the budget that they have. So basically, if you decided to live just a little bit outside of the city center, because for example, Navi is really central. But if you just say like around Bovisa, for example, you can find, like even cheaper places, or, just around, other area of Milan. So I have to say that Milan is really well connected. So we do have a lot of train stations and metro lines and tram and buses, and you can move really easily wherever you go. So it really depends.
Okay, great. Hope that gave you some good insights into those points. So hopefully also it answered all the questions, because we still have a minute left if you have any, but otherwise we'll slowly round up the session. I think we have already given a lot of information. So I can assume that most of the questions have been answered. One thing maybe I can point out as well. So first of all, that you can find the links to the application portal and the masters also in the section under apps. If you click there, you'll find the links. Also for people watching the recording, by the way, you can all participate and find everything as well. And you can participate also in the pollings. So if you watch the recording, we do appreciate your feedback as well. And you can actually even write your questions. Yes, we can, but we cannot answer them right now, of course. But we can send them through to the staff of the Graduate School of Management, so they can come back to you. And maybe also mentioning that in the app section, we did put also a handout to scholarships. So these are just general scholarships. They're not specific to the school, but more on a country level, so to say. So there are various ones in Italy, which you can check out if that's something you're looking for. So we hope that maybe can help you out. And yeah, so no further questions. So I think all is clear. Then maybe we can slowly round off. Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah, I just would like to say a big thank you to everybody, to Marco for his availability and sharing his story today, to Professor Cipulo for the inspiring presentation, to you, Luca, for the support, and also for Irene, my colleague, that is typing in the chat. But again, thank you all for taking your time to discover more about POLIMI system. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you also from my side.
Thank you as
very
well.
much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.